Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new crisp one. That's a YouTube video. In today's video we're changing a potentially illegal issue with the Mercedes-Benz SLK280, and this illegal issue is to do with these headlights right here. Because the other day I was out driving, as you do in your sports car on a nice evening. It started to get dark and my headlights didn't turn on, and I toggled the switch, you know, turned it all around, did everything I could. They wouldn't turn on at all. And then the other day my left hand one turned on randomly when I was driving down the road. So we know that one's not broken. We know the right hand one might be broken. So today what we're going to do to try and fix this potentially illegal issue is we're going to do a sort of varying multiple things. One of those is we're going to sort out the battery terminal, check they're all tight, because my dad said in the past they've come loose and some of the electronics haven't worked in other vehicles, so we're going to try that. We're also going to check all the fuses in the fuse box, which is just below this, to see if any of those are blown or are loose for some reason, maybe something to do with the screen, maybe not. It's blowing some fuses and we're going to try and fix that. And last thing, which we really don't want to be doing ideally, is to change the headlight bulb, because what we've got to do is we've got to take the wheel off, we've got to take the arch liner out, we've got to take the bulb out. And guess how much these bulbs cost? Comment down below what you think these bulbs cost, because they are not your normal 12 to 20 pound bulbs that you might find in like something like Enzo the Polo. No, they are £40 a bulb from a reputable car brand as well. So we don't really want to be changing that. If we can help it, we want to be kind of saving some money there, but if we can't, that's what we're going to have to do. So without further ado, let's get fixing. Okay, so before we jump right into removing the wheel and then taking the bulb out and replacing it with the new £40 bulb, I want to try a couple of theories first. The first one is we're going to take this cover off, get to the battery terminals and try and tighten them up and see if they've come loose, because my dad's had it before and it's, you know, mucked about with some of the electrics, so we're going to try and change that. And then the second thing we're going to do is check all the fuses and make sure none of the fuses relating to anything, you know, headlights or anything, have blown, and that would obviously cut the circuit and stop them from working. Because obviously we want to save money rather than having to spend it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get removing some stuff and try and fix this problem without having to spend a small fortune. And just for reference, one of those headlight bulbs does actually cost practically the same amount as I spent for this entire door card. So yeah, putting that into perspective, it is a little bit of a rip-off. That's why we don't want to actually have to change the bulb. But if we have to, then we have to, because obviously we can't drive the car at night if we don't have any headlights. All right, let's get gloved up and get into it. Now, I also want to point out that luckily this car comes from an era where the headlights weren't sealed units, so we can actually change the bulb if needs must, and we don't have to replace the whole headlight, because that would be one absolute colossal disaster and would be a lot more expensive than one of those extortionate bulbs. But yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the cover in the back corner over here, and I don't know if you can see, but underneath down there there's a battery. So there's little clips here, they're just ones that you just turn once. I can do it, I'll try. There we go. And there's two at the back. One there and one over here somewhere. There. Remove those. With a bit of luck, as you can see, the cover should just pop right off. I think I've actually turned that one tight instead of loose. There we go. Cover's out. Nice and safe. And under there is our battery. Now, I don't know how old the battery is. It might be getting a bit weak, so that might be something to consider in the future. But as you can see, we've got our terminals, and we need to check these are tight or not. Check if these are tight or not, because if they're any little bit loose, it might be affecting how many, you know, how much power is coming out of the battery into the system. And if that's the case, then obviously we're not going to be getting any power to the headlights, and we might not have to replace any bulbs, or it could have blown a fuse, and we're going to check that afterwards. But yeah, without further ado, let's get some tools out and try and tighten up these terminals. Alright, so those were actually tight, so we know it's not the battery, which is kind of a good thing, because if the battery was low voltage or something, you know, it could either be loose terminals or the battery could have started to go funny, but luckily the terminals are alright. So the next thing we're going to check obviously is the fuses over here. Now there's multiple fuse boxes in this car. We've got this one, and then there's one down there, and then there's actually one in the boot underneath the lining. but the one we need today is this one down here. So without further ado, we've got to remove these clips. There's one here, and then there's one all the way down the back somewhere around there, wherever that one is, about there. We're going to take that off, remove the cover, and with a bit of luck, we should find a blown fuse. And if we find a blown fuse, we ain't got to jack the car up, take the wheel off, take the arch light out and replace the bulb. And that is a big job, so we don't really want to be doing that. So if I can find a blown fuse today, that would be absolutely incredible, stunning. There's no words to describe how good that feeling that would be. But without further ado, let's get removing. All right, so fuse box cover is off. Had to like sort of get it around the washer fluid bottle, but we've got our ones down here. I believe it's 60. I think it's 62 and 63. So it's these two 5 amp ones here. Now we're going to hope that these, or at least one of these, is blown. If they're not, then it's the big old task of changing the headlight bulb, which you can't just access like, you know, from down here like you would with a normal car. And you can't just pop the headlight out because you've got to take the whole bumper off. So what you do, and I know what they did on the R172, so the one after this, is they put a little door up here which you could access. I'm not really sure you could anyway with hand space. But we've got to jet the car up, take this wheel off, take the front arch liner out, and then there should be the back of the headlight down there, and we should be able to replace the bulb. Alright, let's check for some blown fuses. Alright, so as you can see, both of our fuses are out. And if we hold them sort of, I'll try and get them in focus, under the light. There you go. I think, hang on, what I'll do, go somewhere, it's a little bit darker, like inside the car. Now, if you can see, if I hold it up to the camera, oh, but now if you can see, if I hold it up to the camera, there's no brakes in that one. It's completely fine. And there's not any brakes, unfortunately, in that one. So what it seems like it's going to be is a new headlight bulb. And that would sum up the thing I had happen the other day, where one of the headlights, so the passenger side, so left hand side, because we're in the UK, headlight turned back on randomly when I was going to get a takeaway, and I took the car out on the auto headlights, obviously, right? And then the other one didn't turn on. So what we think is the right hand bulb has gone, it's blown, and it tripped the left hand one out to stop it from blowing, and then it tried to turn itself back on the other day, but the other one didn't want to turn back on. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and replace the driver's side bulb and then see if our other one turns on, and hopefully, with a bit of luck, everything will be back together. If not, we've got to keep searching, maybe read some codes and just try and find out what's going on. But hopefully that's going to work. So without further ado, let's try the thing that we didn't want to do, because it's going to take the most time, most effort, and most money. But yeah, we have no choice now. So yeah, let's do this. One fuse back in. And come on, 2 fuse back in. And there we go, both our fuses are back in, and I will show you when I turn the headlights on that nothing works. Well, shouldn't work anyway, because last time I did this, and I'm going to let you into a little secret, I did kind of record this video, or this part of the video, before, and I accidentally deleted the footage when I made last week's video, so that's not exactly ideal. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over here now, and I'm going to show you that the bulbs haven't turned on. As you can see, nothing, only dipped, so that's not ideal. So let's get changing some bulbs, and obviously, as with anything on this channel, it is a much harder job than it should be, because, well, that's just the Chrissy boy curse. No! Right, so for anyone wondering, the fuse box in the boot is behind here, so you retract that back and it's down underneath there. As you can see, they're in there. So that's where the rear fuse box is, and the other one is in the cabin, and then you've got one in the front. Now, there is like a really dodgy fuse chart you get with the car. A lot of the time they're in like the glove box, and it's like a scrumpled up old piece of paper. So what I recommend doing is, you know, going on the internet, searching up the fuse box diagrams. People have made videos on where they are, where each different one is, and for what different thing that it is. So if you just go on there, a lot of the time you can find it, and people have told you where it is. I think the fuses in the back are more for, actually I don't know, but yeah, so go look it up. And that's how I found out that the headlight ones were in the front, because a lot of the time with the fuse box diagram, it's literally translated directly from German, so high beam or something was like blinking headlight or something, and I was like, I don't really think that's a thing, so I had to sort of look it up and figure out what it was, and it's just easier to find one that someone's came up with on the internet. So I would suggest doing that. But yeah, that's where the fuse box is in the boot. And I think the other one's behind this cap, because normally it's on the passenger side, but there's an airbag symbol and the airbag on that side. So I don't really think I want to be going fiddling about where the airbag is. And then obviously the other one, as I showed you, is in the front. Just a quick tip. And yeah. All right, let's get removing some more stuff and working on some more parts of the car. Oh yeah, and just a side note, police, don't come for me. I haven't been driving without headlights, I promise, please, just don't come for me, just please don't. Yeah, okay, thank you, bye. Now, a lot of the footage you've just watched was actually originally recorded about 2 weeks ago. Now, I say originally because number one thing I did was I deleted the original footage of me recording it when I was trying to upload last week's video, and so I had to re-record it yesterday. Now, it's taken me 2 weeks to record this video rather than the usual like day and a half, purely because I had to do so many things, and so many things were going wrong in the process of trying to fix this car, and it's just got a lot worse. So the first thing I had to do was I bought a car jack, right, a hydraulic trolley jack, completely fine, low profile and everything. You know, you think it's going to work fine underneath this car. Well, no, it doesn't, because underneath there is a skid plate, and the trolley jack doesn't fit underneath the skid plate. So what do? And I'll show you some pictures. I bought a couple of little ramps, go up, then lo and behold, trolley jack fits. Yes, come on, get in. We now have a working trolley jack. That's all good. Jack the car up. Guys, sit my axle stands underneath. The trolley jack doesn't reach high enough, so I think, oh, maybe the axle stand might fit a little bit underneath a bit of it. Yeah, it does. So we go, okay, maybe this is an idea. Maybe we finally got somewhere. Maybe everything's going to go well. Then we go to the other side, and the car decides to play a game of Where's Wally. You guys remember Where's Wally, Where's Waldo, whatever you call it in your country. And we decide to play a game, and the car thinks, haha, this is going to be really, really fun, and I'm going to be a great comedian today, which it wasn't. And it decided that we're going to play a game of Where's Wally. So let's play a game of Where's Wally, and this is round one, nice and easy. We're going to play a game of Where's the axle stand / lift jacking point. All right, level one, easy. Point it out to me underneath this car. Where is it? Point it out to me underneath this car. It is there. You see? It's there. Wow. Now, level 2 is extremely difficult, and this is very, very, very good. So, level 2 is a very extremely difficult game of find the jacking point, because, as a matter of fact, and I'll stick a better picture up, if you can't see it, wherever it is. Well, hey, it's gone. We don't know where. As you can see, it's gone. We don't know where. We just know it's gone. So we can't actually put the car on axle stands. So we're in a bit of a pickle. It decided to fly away home. Shout out to one of my old childhood teachers who wrote a book called Fly Away Home. So it's flown off somewhere over there probably. So that's not good. So we can't actually do all of this just for the simple thing of changing the flipping headlight bulb, which should be very, very easy. But no, it's a mammoth task, and it might actually make me cry. But after I've cried, I'm probably going to have to change the side skirt, have a new little piece welded in there, and then eventually we might be able to change the headlight. To be honest, it's probably about time that something goes wrong on this channel, because as you know, as the saying goes, some things are too good to be true, and recently we've been having too much luck with great videos and everything going well on this channel, and actually being able to fit things like the screen, the door guide. So it's about time that we get humbled by the gods up above, and something goes horribly wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to obviously fix this and everything, and also what I need to do is fix my camera, because as you can see I'm wearing a completely different piece of attire now, and a completely different shirt and stuff, and that's because during editing I've noticed that my camera has once again mucked up the audio, and I've had to re-record something else. So yeah, let's shut this off quickly before the camera decides to blow itself up again. And all I want to say is thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hope you all did enjoy. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, you know the rest. Everyone has told you millions and millions of times, I am sure, and I'll see you all in the next one. Also, another thing, Just thinking, what car would you guys like to see in the future if I do decide to strap about 6 ton of dynamite to this thing and blow it off the face of the earth because it's that annoying? I was thinking maybe something like a GT86 or something in the future, but I just want to get your guys' opinion, because if I do decide to blow this car up, we're going to need a new one, obviously. And yeah, what do you guys think? For legal reasons, this is a joke. Police do not come to my house and confiscate my car or arrest me. This was a joke. Yeah, I hope to keep this car for many, many years. So please don't come after me. Alright, I'm actually going to go this time before I start the
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.